Do you need a light meter when you're learning photography? My new friend Gorobet's Photography just messaged me and was asking me this question. So I figured I'll just make a video to explain it. He's asking, do I need a light meter to tell me what to shoot my photo, to put what settings on the camera? Like, that's what he was asking me. And I was like, well, a light meter doesn't really tell you what settings to put on your camera, because the settings, balancing that triad of aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, like that's the triad of photography, balancing those three things, you make those decisions based on what you want out of focus, or what, like those decisions you make with that. So a light meter isn't going to just tell you what settings to have your camera on. That's not the wrong way to think about a light meter. A light meter is to measure the light at a particular point. So if I were to put a light meter up next to my face and hold it here, it would be measuring the light, see the light there, coming from, it's hitting my face, and it would tell you like an f-stop number, but that's not necessarily the f-stop number you want to put the camera on. It's just telling you that's the amount of light that's coming to there. If you set things up, sure, you can set it up so it will tell you, but you've got to first make those decisions about what your triad settings are, what your aperture is at and why, what your ISO is at and why, and what your shutter speed's at and why. So that's a light meter. Light meters can also be used to measure the light behind me. You can put the light over here, but generally we're talking about studio stuff. If you're outdoors shooting nature, landscapes, all that stuff, a light meter isn't really going to help you, because it's not like you can hold your light meter out on the mountain that you're trying to photograph or the bird up in the tree. So I think that's a tool that is used for understanding things once you understand a lot of stuff about lighting. But certainly when you're learning, guys, you don't need to go out there and buy a light meter unless you're really wanting to play in the studio environment and learn about flash photography and lighting photography in the studio. It can be useful for that. Me personally, I've never really spent a lot of time using light meters in what I do, because I kind of have a good gauge of what the amount of light is. And there's a light meter in your camera, don't forget that. The camera itself has a light meter, to read what it thinks is there, and you can change it to spot metering and all that stuff. So better off, if you're learning, is to go and learn all those settings in your camera for how to light meter within the camera. I wouldn't rush out and get a light meter or a handheld light meter until you kind of really understand a lot about lighting.